won a national title. She didn't celebrate with her teammates. She mocked Caitlin Clark. So there's jealousy there. I certainly see that with her. I don't know about the...
Caitlin Clark has shifted gears, altering her plans for the European League. After much anticipation from Indiana fans, she has decided to leave her European adventure behind and return to the WNBA. While Europe was offering her a warm welcome, even preparing to crown her as one of the highest-paid players, the WNBA has been a different story. The league's season has been chaotic, with a toxic environment surrounding her return. Nonetheless, she's back, but the contrast between the two leagues couldn't be more stark.
Angel Reese, which is absolutely ridiculous, and let's talk about how ridiculous it is.
WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has recognized the league's missteps, personally apologizing to Caitlin Clark and condemning the racism she faced. Engelbert also vowed to address the toxic culture that's plagued the league, acknowledging that the WNBA has struggled without Clark. Losing her for good is not an option they can afford. The big question now is, what's the WNBA planning next? Will they actually follow through on their promises? And how did they manage to convince Clark to stay after all the drama? Fans and critics alike are eager to see if the league can truly turn things around.
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this has all happened.
When's the last time you heard of a sports commissioner getting vulnerable and personally apologizing to a player? Exactly, almost never. Caitlin Clark was ready to walk away, take a lucrative deal, and become the global face of basketball. For the commissioner to admit, "We failed you," shows a whole new level of desperation. This wasn't just some PR stunt hashed out in a boardroom. This was personal. Commissioner Engelbert stepped up and owned the fact that the WNBA had let Caitlin down in a massive way, allowing dirty politics and blatant racism to persist on and off the court. The league had been turning a blind eye, and that's why Caitlin was halfway out the door, passport in hand, ready to go.
Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the...
But then, out of nowhere, the WNBA decides to actually own up to their mess. And the world is left thinking, wait, what just happened? Let's be honest, the WNBA isn't exactly famous for handling its drama well. They've built a reputation for sweeping issues under the rug, hoping they'll just disappear. So for them to come out and say, yeah, we failed Caitlin, isn't just surprising, it's wild. It's like they finally realized they didn't just lose *** player. They lost *** the * player. Caitlin wasn't just their star, she was the reason people tuned in at all. Without her, ticket sales plummeted, viewership tanked, and the league was on the brink of collapse. The WNBA didn't just make a mistake, they were staring down their own downfall. And Caitlin was the key to keeping everything from sinking.
Angel Reese prematurely ended her rookie season to spare herself the embarrassment of losing Rookie of the Year to Caitlin Clark.
By turning down that tempting European offer, Caitlin is sending a clear message. Yeah, you messed up, but now you're going to fix it. This isn't just about her anymore. She's forcing the entire WNBA to take a hard look in the mirror and confront the issues they've been sweeping under the rug. That apology wasn't just for show. It was a wake-up call for the league. Now, with fans demanding change and Caitlin leading the charge, she's giving the WNBA a chance to course correct. She's making it clear that she's willing to try and adjust after all the previous drama. But if they don't get their act together, next time they won't just lose Caitlin, they'll lose a lot more.
Now, the self-proclaimed villain has decided to go after the queen. Now, Angel Reese has decided to antagonize lonely grown women, many of which probably watch the Yentas on The View, and who strangely refer to themselves as Swiffers.
No, Caitlin's back, but this time, it's on her terms. The WNBA knows they can't afford to mess this up again. With her return, they're not just getting their star back, they're getting a shot at rewriting their entire narrative. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about fixing what's been broken. And Caitlin's the one holding all the cards. It's a power shift like we've never seen before. It's going to be the story everyone talks about for years to come.
Oh yeah, white people. Oh yeah, white people racist. White people death threats. White people blah, 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 blah. And that's all I hear when I hear these things.
And let me tell you, if the WNBA gets away with this, we're looking at one of the biggest scandals to ever hit sports. The investigation into the league's internal problems didn't just reveal a few bad apples. This was a full-blown mess. Caitlyn had been dealing with all kinds of garbage, both on and off the court. And who were the stars of this horror show? Angel Reese and Alyssa Thomas. Of course, their names had to come up right. These two weren't just throwing hard fouls. They were slinging racist comments, bullying. Basically everything you don't want to see in sports. And the league? They let it slide. Why? Because Caitlyn versus Angel Reese was great for ratings, or so they thought. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was a disaster waiting to explode.
He happens to be a terrific talent who's white and very, very marketable. The combination of the two things make her the golden goose for the WNBA. Go after her, compete with her, get the better of her at every...
Months, Caitlyn had been quietly enduring all this nonsense, hoping someone in the WNBA would step in. But instead, the league turned a blind eye, pretending it was just some friendly rivalry. When Caitlyn finally hit her breaking point and said, "I'm out," the WNBA suddenly realized they had made the biggest mistake of their lives. Caitlyn wasn't just a superstar. She was the asterisk superstar. And when she walked out, the money followed. Ticket sales disappeared, viewership tanked, and sponsors. Don't even get me started. In a matter of no time, the WNBA went from everything's fine to we're asterisk. So sorry, Caitlyn, please come back, and fast. Even Commissioner Kathy Engelbert had to step in and publicly apologize. The league went from downplaying everything to full-on groveling in front of Caitlyn and the fans. And that's something the WNBA never does. This was completely uncharted territory, and it was clear the league was desperate. They knew they were hanging on by a thread, and without Caitlyn, that thread was about to snap.
Caitlin Clark that Angel Reese is desperately hanging on to for relevance, saying Caitlin Clark that Angel Reese is trying to create this one-sided rivalry with, a rivalry that no one cares about but Angel Reese herself.
While all this chaos was unfolding, Caitlyn wasn't sitting around waiting for an apology. Europe was on the phone, offering her a deal that would have made her the highest-paid female player in history, over $10 million a year. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money. The WNBA couldn't even dream of touching that offer, or so we thought. But in a move no one saw coming, the WNBA somehow outbid Europe. Yeah, you read that right. The same league infamous for its embarrassingly low salaries suddenly found a giant pile of cash to keep Caitlyn. Why? Because they had no choice. Without her, the league was on the brink of collapse. Caitlyn's not just the face of the WNBA, she's their lifeline. They knew that if she walked, the whole shit would sink. Now, with Caitlyn back on her asterisk terms, the entire future of the league is riding on her shoulders. The WNBA can't afford to mess this up again. If they don't fix their act, next time they won't just lose Caitlyn, they'll lose everything.
Reese told her lonely male followers, hating pays too. Translation, I need attention. Translation, I need money. Translation, nothing about me is authentic. Translation, I cannot be a star on my own.
When Caitlyn Clark walked out of the WNBA, the whole league started free-falling faster than a broken elevator. It wasn't subtle at all. The numbers? Bad. Really bad. Ticket sales crashed and viewership plummeted by half when Caitlyn wasn't on the court. She wasn't just playing basketball. She was keeping the entire operation afloat during her rookie season in 2024. And let's be clear, that wasn't just impressive. It was her asterisk. Caitlyn single-handedly propelled the WNBA to heights they hadn't even dreamed of in decades. Her games were averaging a staggering 1.8 million viewers. Let me repeat that, 1.8 million. The WNBA hadn't seen numbers like that in a long time. Without her, the league faced a grim reality, and they knew it.
When Angel Reese comes out and says, she ain't the only one everybody's watching, they're watching me too, they're watching others.
When Caitlyn was on the court, it was a completely different story. Ticket sales were through the roof. If you wanted to see her play, good luck finding a seat. Every game was sold out, packed to the rafters. The Fever's games became the hottest ticket in town. We're not just talking about filled stands. Her jersey sales skyrocketed. Caitlyn Clark was practically printing money for the WNBA. But the moment she stepped away, everything dried up. Merchandise sales vanished, and those arenas that had once been filled with roaring fans suddenly looked like ghost towns, half empty and quiet. No one was rushing to buy tickets anymore. The stark contrast highlighted just how crucial Caitlyn was to the league's success.
Been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times.
The moment Caitlyn even hinted that she might be leaving, it was like someone hit the emergency stop button on the hype train and it derailed spectacularly. The whole league fell apart, with fans checking out faster than people leaving a terrible movie. Let's get into the specifics. The Fever's 2024 playoff opener drew 2.5 million viewers, which was practically unheard of for the WNBA. Then Caitlyn left. And what happened? The next set of games barely cracked half of that viewership. Even the semifinals, typically the games that should draw in the crowds, plummeted from 1.8 million viewers down to a meager 64,000. It was like the second Caitlyn wasn't playing, everyone said, "Yeah, no thanks. We're good." The contrast couldn't have been more striking, and it was clear just how pivotal she was to the league's success.
Him, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say...
It's no surprise that the WNBA was willing to do whatever it took to get Caitlyn back after watching their bank accounts and fan base vanish along with her. They had no choice. The league suffered a massive hit financially and culturally. That apology wasn't just about making things right with Caitlyn. It was about saving the entire league from sinking. They needed her, and they knew it.
Back to when she won a national title. She didn't celebrate with her teammates. She mocked Caitlin Clark. So there's jealousy there. I certainly see that with her. I don't know about the league.
I'm going to go out and do whatever it takes to win, and every single night. My teammates rely on my energy. So being able to continue the energy, even if we're down, even if we're up, that's what I do.
Without Caitlyn, the WNBA wasn't just in trouble. They were on life support. The commissioner had the defibrillator in hand, desperately hoping to shock the league back into relevance. The stakes had never been higher, and it was clear that Caitlyn was the key to their survival.